It's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and this one is genuinely a world first. And there are times where it's the first time I've ever done something, and this one is the first time it's ever been done. Which is really quite exciting. So doing it for the first time was a real sort of road test. My intention was that it will be exactly the same as my regular workshops. However, because it was new, because it was an unknown quantity, that was the thing that I was then kind of, putting it to the test. So in terms of the world first, it was running my photo reading webinar, because I have been a photo reading instructor. I did my instructor training back in March 2002, so quite a long time ago now. Run the workshops as an in-person event where people come along to the kind of the hotel where I run them and take part. And I had the idea this year that I would run a video webinar version, which meant that, because I've lost count of the number of people who say, I'd really love to do your photo reading workshop, I don't live in the UK, or I can't make it to Watford, or timing isn't right. And I was just thinking, with the wonderful technology that we have at our fingertips now, I then decided it would be really cool to do it as a video webinar workshop. So it was a full workshop. The video webinar version was 22.5 hours, so it's actually longer than the in-person workshop. And by the end of the first day, as to be expected, because people are really excited, they're learning a new skill, they were absolutely buzzing. And we only did 4.5 hours the first day, because when I run it as an in-person workshop as well, we do 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. on the Friday. Then we do the bonus belief change session with the HUNA on the Friday evening. So that's from 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. The HUNA is HUNA, for those who want to look that up. And then we do 9:30 to 6:30 on the Saturday and on the Sunday. And so I basically ran it exactly the same format, except we did 9:30 to 7:30 p.m. So first day, people are buzzing. Second day, people are still buzzing. Third day, the Sunday, people are still buzzing. They're focused, they're energized, they feel alive. They actually can't believe it's been an online training, because I know many people have the experience with online trainings where it doesn't feel the same. There's not the same dynamic. It can actually be quite tiring, even if you're just doing a couple of hours. And so to have people do 22.5 hours over the course of 3 consecutive days is a lot. But the feedback has been absolutely amazing. Kind of this, because I was asking people at the end just to choose 5 words that describe their experience of taking part. So someone says fun, energizing, mind expansive, effective, which was lovely. Somebody else was saying, in terms of the way that they kind of received it, they said, wow, this is a simple yet incredibly powerful and liberating skill to have, that transforms and skyrockets your ability to absorb and recall information when needed. Which again, absolutely lovely that people would kind of have that experience of kind of taking part. And one of the ways that I see photo reading, accelerated learning, it's about bringing the power, and not just books, because of course we're doing an online webinar version, and so those who were kind of taking part from abroad, they had PDF versions of the photo reading book. They had PDF versions of their own books as well. People on the workshop are often using Kindles and iPads for reading. So it's not just about the physicality of, an actual book that you can flick through, but it's about bringing the power of books, the power of words to life. So, really, really exciting in terms of, the kind of the way that played out, and I was asking, and this is one of the feedback forms from the webinar, I was saying, how can we improve the program? They typed, can't think of anything. And I have to say that normally in the 16 years thus far that I've been a photo reading instructor, I would say 9.9 times out of 10, that question is left blank. People say, can't think of anything. Sometimes people write, wish it was longer, can't believe the time went so fast. And this is the one where they were saying that they had an absolutely incredible experience of doing this 2.5-day training online, and still feeling like they had an incredible time. And I had somebody who could only do the Friday afternoon because she was flying out from Bristol to the United States of America to share. Oh, hi Tracy. Tracy Lee Lawrence says just sending some love. Lots of love to you too, Tracy. And she was flying out from the UK, flying out to the United States of America to chair a big conference and event. And she took the information that we taught on the Friday, put it into practice on the Saturday in terms of chairing that event. And she was saying, oh my God, you know, I used the mind maps when I was chairing, when I was taking notes, all the stuff you taught made a massive difference. And so one of the things that I'm really excited about in terms of not just, you know, webinar versus in person, but just photo reading and accelerated learning in and of itself, that the skills you could take this training on the Friday and put these skills into practice at your desk on Monday morning. It's that that incredible. And so for those of you who are watching this in real time, they're going to expire tomorrow, but there's a kind of Black Friday, well, Cyber Monday deal for the online video webinar training. So you can kind of check that one out if you want to. Let me just see, I can do that. Let me just see, I can pull up the link. Yeah, there we go. So for those of you who are watching this in real time, that's the link, blackfridayoffers.eventbrite.com. Actually, I can go one better than that because I can give you a fee-free link. 1 second. Yeah. So with this one, there's no fee to pay. The events frame page. I'm going to drop that into the conversations thread as well. And if you're going to the events frame page, what you will be looking for, let's see. I'm just going to see if I can show you what the page would look like. So if I've got it here, there we go. So that's the page you're going to be kind of looking. It's kind of one of those pages, but it will be the events frame is the kind of company you're looking for. But if you wanted to join us, it's 30% off for Cyber Monday if you wanted to do the video webinar training. And people were asking kind of what's included in that training. So you get a PDF copy of the photo reading book. So this is 150 pages. You get a, let's see. So you get an MP3 download of the Paraliminal Activator. You get an MP3 download also, or because I don't know many people who have CD players anymore, you get an MP3 download of the Tips and Insights CD. And yes, you do get a copy of the photo reading certificate, which means you can retake and refresh the class as many times as you like, wherever you are in the world, forever, and you never have to pay for the workshop again. You can always do the workshop free of charge. You just need to cover the cost of being in the room, and so that's all included in the training. So I'm sure what people will be doing as kind of this rolls out more widely is attending the video webinar training and then going off and refreshing the class locally, because it might be that you take part, you know, from America, for example, do this class and then you just show them your certificate, and it means you can attend their class free of charge, and you just cover the cost of being in the room, which will be different depending on which country you're in and which instructor you're training with, but it's the same format as the main training. So you know, if you wanted to join us, but you know, people, it was really, really fantastic. And you know, this is someone else saying in terms of what was good for them, it was the flexibility of participating from their chosen location, especially as the days have been full, very full. And it was, you know, for them, the combination of comprehensive and intensive yet fun delivery. And it was just really, really amazing to see how, you know, because we've got people in the chat room in terms of the webinar platform, you know, so I'm testing them, I'm asking questions, much like I would in the regular workshop. And you know, everybody got it. It was absolutely brilliant. So there was really no difference between the, you know, the way that people got it, the extent at which they picked it up, the extent to which they took it on board. Absolutely no difference in terms of this versus my in-person workshop, which is fantastic. And in terms of, you know, kind of what to expect, this is what the platform looks like. So you see the PowerPoint slides are the main focus. And then you'll see me in the video square as well. And then there's a chat facility underneath where you can kind of put your questions in, you can put your queries in. There's also an option if you want to switch on your microphone, or if you want to switch on your camera, if you wanted to ask questions in real time. But that's pretty much kind of what it looks like in terms of taking part. So yeah, it's very cool. And so, you know, we go, for those of you who've done photo reading, you'll know kind of what NOPS means. But everything we do on the main workshop, we do it here. And yeah, it was cool. It was really, and I knew it was the first time. It was, of course, the first time I was doing it that way. But having spoken to Learning Strategies, who are the organisation who created photo reading, it's the first time in the world that anyone has done it. So that's really cool. So if you would like to join us, that will be wonderful. So I can, you know, it's now launched as a product, which means, again, you don't have to wait for me to decide on a date for the photo reading workshop. You can take part at any time according to your own schedule. And it just depends. Did you want to save yourself 30% and do it for the Cyber Monday deal? That expires tomorrow if you're watching that in real time. Or did you want to just go to the page and just sign up whenever it suits you? And, you know, there's a bit.ly link. So www.bit.ly/photo reading online. So I'll put that into the chat. And just for information about photo reading generally, just go to my main website, which is www.transformationstm.com. Trance is TRANCE. Formations, F for Freddy, ORMATIONS, TM, as in trademark. So transformationstm.com/photo reading. And I will drop that into the conversation thread as well. So yeah, there you have it. So that's kind of, you know, that's where we're at. What it says at the top of this slide in terms of, you know, asking people how they felt at the end of the whole thing. And they were feeling both relaxed and energized, and which is amazing, because 22.5 hours is quite a big chunk of time. But that's the thing about accelerated learning. The time absolutely flies. And people often can't believe that, you know, number one, they can't believe how much information they've actually covered, but they also can't believe just how incredible they feel. So yes, if you want to come and join us, if you want to kind of unlock the power and the magic of books and written material, and I always say, you know, for me, it's about this wonderful thing here, about energizing, accelerating, and I'd say getting more into the depths of your brain and kind of what it is you are capable and what it is you are capable of doing. And if I had a visual, because you know I like my props if you've done my workshops, this is an actual book. It's a real book. And it was from the strong lady in Watford. She ripped this in half, but I said to her, what do you do with it once you've ripped it in half? And she said, oh, I just throw them away. And so I said, well, I teach photo reading, I teach accelerated learning. I'm showing people how to get more done in less time, saving themselves several hours a week, if not several hours a day. And I said, it's like halving, at least halving your reading time, and doubling, quadrupling, and plus your reading speed. So I said, do you mind if I have that half of the book? Because it's a really fantastic representation of what photo reading is all about, in terms of devouring books at record speed in half the time, if not more, because we start off on the Friday reading at 25,000 words per minute, and photo reading a whole book from start to finish in 5 minutes. And so for me, this was a really great representation of kind of what photo reading is all about. And also for the people who are asking, if you have taken my photo reading workshop and you wanted to refresh the class, there is a refresher price for attending the online video webinar training. And what it also means is, which I think is a really nice resource, it's an online training. And so that means you can go in and watch the replays, watch the recording, you can watch things at your own pace, in your own time. And so it gives you a really nice resource as well. So I'll maybe email everyone about that if anyone wanted to refresh the photo reading workshop. And it means you then have all of the information on video as well. You can go through the slides at your own pace. And so that's something I'll drop an email to people at some point as well. And if you're a photo reader, and you know people who would benefit from learning this skill in terms of enhancing their creativity, intuition, decision-making skills, critical thinking skills, you know, energizing the brain and the body, getting more done in less time, kind of saving yourself several hours a week, then feel free to kind of, you know, share the link share this video, kind of, you know, like, I'm not a fan of, you know, randomly tagging people in who don't want to be tagged, but you know, you might send them the video and say, hey, this is the workshop I did, you might want to take a look. That would be fantastic, because me saying it's brilliant, that's, yeah, people go, well, of course you're going to say that. But having people who have actually taken the class share their experiences and talk about the impact it's had for them is always really kind of amazing. And as you will know, if you followed me for a while on Facebook, I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of incredible photo reading testimonials. Actually, I should start. Have I got an? I don't think I'll start. I will start an album at some point on Facebook, so you can just kind of go through and read for yourself. And actually, what I'll maybe do for the conversation, I'll put it into the into the conversation thread of this, because people often ask, do the effects last? And someone who came to my very first instructor training, pushing up to 16 years ago now, to this day he's still talking about it. And you know, went back over time, and I put a blog together just of some of the examples of the things that have happened. Of course, you might have heard me talk about K and reversing the brain damage, you know, working with people with dyslexia, working with people with dyspraxia, working with people with autism, working with people who just want to up their game in terms of their work and their skills, working with people who had failed their professional exams, you know, accountancy, counselling, law, you name it, you know, police officers, detectives, you name it, rocket scientists, team of rocket scientists at Cranfield University. And so what I did is I just kind of put some of those examples together in a blog. So you can go up, add some videos as well, some video testimonials from some of my clients. And so I'll find the link later and I'll put it into the conversation thread for this as well, because people often ask, you know, what's the age group? Who is it suitable for? My youngest photo reading delegate was 7 years old, the awesome, amazing, fantastic Eve. My youngest photo reading client, in terms of coaching client, was 8 years old, and he was also the youngest photo reading workshop attendee until Eve came along. Oldest has been 74, and I haven't always asked people's ages, but you know, he was a retired wing commander. So yeah, the age range is very wide, and that's on the same workshop. And you might have seen the post, the blog that I wrote a couple of weeks ago about the moody teenager who actually tried to lock himself in the car when he arrived at photo reading month before last, because he just didn't want to be there. And by the Sunday, he did the most gorgeous speech to the room, and he said, I want to learn to teach this skill to the next generation, which is just, I mean, I get goosebumps when I think about it, but to go from trying to lock yourself in the car on Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon saying, I want to teach this to the next generation, that's incredible in the space of, like, you know, just under 3 days. And so the transformations have been amazing. And in terms of, again, it's not subject specific. Of course, you know, I have lots of students and postgraduate students and undergrad students and coming along, and also everyone from consultants and lawyers and accountants and marketing executives through to business owners and crystal healers and therapists and coaches and, you know, everything in between, as I said, right through to the doctors and surgeons and rocket scientists. And the team from Cranfield were hugely impressed and says we should be teaching this to all of our PhD students. So it's super cool stuff. So if you want to join me, you know where to find me. My email is marilyn@transformationstm.com. Go to the main website page, go to the events frame page if you kind of want to do the online video webinar version. And if you're watching this in real time, check the conversation thread, the comments thread, and you'll find the link for the Cyber Monday deals, which is 30% off. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and share the video if you know anyone who could benefit from those skills. And, you know, for me, having been diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's in my 20s, photo reading was the thing that was a game changer for me and just turned everything around. I had no intention of getting into this line of work. I was studying to be a chartered accountant, but the changes, both in terms of the personal development and then discovering the photo reading, were just beyond profound. And I just thought, if I can do this with all of the health challenges I've had and being written off by the medical profession as like, there's nothing we can do for you, if I can do it with those problems and those challenges, imagine working with people who don't have all those illnesses and who haven't been diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's. Just imagine working with people who just want to accelerate and next level their skills. So that's kind of how it started for me. And also for people who are challenged, you know, with bad memory, problems with concentration, problems with their focus, problems with absorbing and retaining information and being able to assimilate and make sense and understand what you've read, was my starting point. So it's like, it'll be great to work with people doing that, and then started to see the possibility of how do you actually next level your skills. So it's been quite a journey. It's been incredible to see the things that people have done with photo reading, how much their lives have changed. Some of you will have been in the room when people have stood up and made their declarations, and oftentimes just a couple of weeks and months later, everything they said in the room, which we call the speaking it into existence, has happened. And I'm friends with many of those people on Facebook, and when I see their posts and I see what they're doing, I remember the words that they spoke in that room in Watford. And it's wonderful to see how things change and transform and come to life. So it's exciting, and now it can be globally exciting. It's not just confined to people who can make it to the hotel to train with me in person. You can do it from anywhere now online. So very excited about the world first. And yeah, here we go. Thank you for watching. I will catch you all later. Bye bye.